Welcome to page 7 in your two-step equation packet. Today we're going to be working with fractions and eliminating fractional coefficients by using the reciprocal. Let's begin by discussing what a reciprocal is. Let's take a look at the fraction 2/3. If we flip it over and write 3/2, that's the reciprocal of 2/3. And if we multiply a fraction by its reciprocal, we get the number 1. It works like this. Top times top gives us 6. Bottom times bottom gives us 6. And of course, that's equivalent to 1. And that's going to help us one out coefficients that are fractions. Let's try another one. If we have the fraction 3/5 and we multiply 3/5 by its reciprocal, we just flip it over and take top times top, we get 15. Bottom times bottom, we get 15 in the denominator. And of course, it ones out. So we're going to use the reciprocal trick to help us solve a few of these equations. Let's start with number 5. It's a one-step solve, so it's pretty easy. We're going to drop a dotted line down number 5. Please do this along with me. And we're going to eliminate the coefficient in front of the x. If we multiply 2/5 by its reciprocal, which is 5/2, what we do to one side, we have to do to the other. So multiply 10 by 5/2. Now we know, based on what we saw above, that this will one out, and x will be left alone. On this side, we're going to multiply 10 times 5/2. Put a 1 underneath the 10, make sure you're taking down these notes, and simply multiply top times top. The numerator is 50, bottom times bottom, the denominator is 2. And when you divide on your calculator, 50 divided by 2, we get the answer 25. X equals 25. Let's take a look at a few other problems on the page. Let's take a look at number 8. Number 8, we're going to drop a dotted line down the equation. This is going to be a two-step solve. We're going to start solving this equation by subtracting 21 from both sides of the equation, which zeroes out this term. We're left with 3/4 times x equals, and on the right side, once we subtract, we get 24. One more step to go. We need to eliminate the fraction 3/4. We need to one it out. So we're going to multiply this side by 4/3. But we're also going to multiply this side by the reciprocal, 4/3. Let's put a 1 underneath the 24 and prepare it for multiplication. Now we know a reciprocal times the original fraction ones out 3/4. X is now alone. Over here, on the right side, we're going to take 24 times 4, which is 96. And then 1 times 3, bottom times bottom, we get a denominator of 3. Grab your calculator and punch in 96 divided by 3. You should get an answer of 32. Let's take a look at some of the problems on the bottom of the page. Let's take a look at number 11 now. Drop a dotted line down the equation, and let's eliminate our first term. Let's add 1 to the left and to the right to zero out that term. We're left with 3/5 times x equals 33. Now let's eliminate the fractional coefficient and multiply it by 5/3. It's reciprocal. But this side also has to be multiplied by the reciprocal 5/3. This will 1 out the fractional coefficient, and we're left with x. But over here, we have to multiply. Grab your calculators and multiply with me. 33 times 5, top times top, punch it into your calculators. You should get 165. And then bottom times bottom gives us a denominator of 3. Now simply divide 165 by 3. The final answer is 55. Okay, let's do one more together, number 12. On number 12, of course, we're solving for the x variable. We need to get rid of plus 4 first. So in order to zero out that term, let's subtract 4 from both sides and zero it out. Now once we subtract, we get 40 over here on the left. But watch what I do here. I'm going to leave a little room as I bring down the next term, 4/5 times x. We need to eliminate this fractional coefficient of 4/5. So we're going to multiply by 5/4. And I left a little room for that to squeeze it in there. But what I do to one side, I'm going to have to do to the other and multiply this side by 5/4, putting a 1 underneath the 40. We're going to 1 out the fractional coefficient, so x is now alone, and finish up on the left side. Grab your calculators and punch in top times top, 5 times 40. You should get a numerator of 200, and then bottom times bottom, you should get a denominator of 4. Now pick up your calculators again and punch in 200 divided by 4. You get an answer of 50. X equals 50. So complete the rest of the problems on this sheet. Make sure you use the reciprocal to 1 out the fractional coefficient. This concludes this video.